salaries do I have to take? Very important. Let's come back to our discussion. I am sure that, CAF, you have seen people who are on retirement who are struggling so far as finances are concerned.
It's a common thing.
It's a common thing. But what we lose sight of is the fact that all these guys who are on retirement who are struggling at a point in time were working like us. In fact, some of them were on higher salaries than what we have today. And I can share several examples. I don't know if I shared this on this program of a teacher. Somebody who was a teacher for 26 years who retired. And guess how much lump sum she had? 17,000 cedis. After 26 years of work. And you know what? When that happens, if you are not careful, you become bitter. You become frustrated. She was a teacher. Anytime she sees any of her students driving good cars, she goes like, look, life has not been fair to me. And you are depressed. And if you are not careful, you die before your time.
And then you warn your children never to be teachers.
You warn your children never. But it's not bad to be a teacher. The point is about retirement planning. But we can also flip it. And I have an example of a client who retired last year, and I took him on 9 years ago. And we were deliberate about retirement. 9 years ago, he was clear that he had 9 multiplied by 12 salaries to take. And we decided to plan for retirement. He's just gone on retirement. And Kafui, at the moment, not SNIT funds, it's a retirement plan on the side. He's making monthly interest of 60,000 every month. Monthly interest. And beginning of this year, we put him on a program where we pay him 30,000 every month. And he's on retirement. That is like spending 1,000 a day. I was in a church around Kaneshi. Spent an evening with a church where during question time an elderly man comes and then he says that, look, whatever Paul is telling you is true, because he started work, and I want to narrate it the way he did it. He said, I started work as a tailor, but at a young age my mentor called me and advised me that, Papa Taylor, you are not on SNIT, so you better start planning for your retirement. Anytime you make income, divide it into 3 and put 1 away towards your retirement. He said he did that. At age 50, he realized he had made so much money that he didn't need to work again till whenever. So from age 50 up to the day he was talking to us, he had never sat behind a sewing machine. And this was in 2015. But what shocked me was when he told the church that he attends the best hospital, he gets the best medical care. But November 2015, he was going to be 90 years. And he had never sat behind a sewing machine from age 60. From age 50 rather. So for 40 years, he had not worked because he planned for retirement. You see, the difference is happening now. You are not the only one who was born in 1971. But for all your peers who were born in 1971, the kind of retirement you are going to have and what another person is going to have is happening right now. People think it happens at age 60, but it happens over time. It happens over 10 years, over 15 years. Noah did not start building the ark when it started raining. So you don't wait till you are 55, you are 58 before you start thinking about retirement. Planning must start now. You may need a financial planner, you may need a fund manager who may help you, but it's important to start planning now. Since you were comfortable with mentioning your age, I have a retirement planner. We could look at it together. So you are 47 now, right? And you are retiring at age 60. Let's say that you will live till age 85. If you are retiring today, how much money will give you a comfortable life every month?
I like the 1,000 a day.
1,000 a day, so that is 30K. 30K within a month.
It's for job life.
Yeah, so let's assume inflation is 12%. Inflation is 12%. And let's assume that you long-term interest rate after retirement is 16%. Because when you retire, you slow down in terms of taking risk. If inflation is 12%, and assuming that when you retire, so I want us to look at how much you will need at age 60. But when you retire, we will increase whatever money you will need by 10% every year. Every year we are increasing that by 10%. The question is, how much do you need to put away if you can get 20%, 22% interest from today till age 60? Kafui, for your 30,000 a month, if inflation is 12% at age 60, that will be 130,000 every month, because we are growing this by 12% every year. You know how much you need to put away every month?
Tell me.
25,644 cedis every month, if you want to have this kind of retirement. And the question to you is, can you do that?
I can.
Can you raise 25,000 every month?
Nothing is impossible.
No. so no, I'm not.
But you'd have to get it. You have to have a creative way of doing
exactly.
It. Exactly. I get what you're saying.
So if you cannot do that, it's even more complicated if you delay. Because if you delay for 10 years, it
becomes a bigger task.
Now you'll be looking at about 385,000 cedis every month.
The task gets heavier.
Exactly. And if you were younger, if you were 30 years, I'll just change 47 to 30 years for the same lifestyle. By this time around, because we're looking at 30 and we are building up 12%, by the time you retire, you will need 898,000 every month, and you need to do about 5,500 cedis on a monthly basis to have that in future.
So age helps you if you started earlier.
The younger you are, the easier it becomes to plan for retirement. So we are saying that once you start work, my thinking is that this must be part of orientation when people are getting employed, that you need to plan for retirement. Because when you are younger, it becomes very easier. I saw a scripture in the Bible the other day, Ecclesiastes 6, 3-6. It says, a man may have 100 children and live many years. Yet no matter how long he lives, if he cannot enjoy his prosperity and does not receive proper burial, I say that a stillborn child is better off than he. It comes without meaning, it departs in darkness, and in darkness its name is shrouded. Though it never saw the sun or knew anything, it has more rest than does that man. Even if he lives 1,000 years twice over, but fails to enjoy his prosperity. Do not all go to the same place.
Ecclesiastes 6, 3-6.
3-6. One of my favorite scriptures in the Bible is Ephesians 3, I think 20, where the Bible says, now unto him who is able to do exceedingly and abundantly above all that we imagine. Imagination is important in our discussion. The law of first creation states that everything is created twice. First mentally, and the second physically. Without the first creation, you cannot have the second creation. Retirement must be created twice.
First in your mind?
First mentally and second physically. If you don't create the first one in your mind, you cannot have the second one.
Correct.
So it doesn't matter your age. You need to be able to think about the kind of retirement you want now and imagine it. Think about it. Let's model it in mind now, and then you can have the second one.
Okay, so the question is, where do we start from? Now that we know all these principles, we've been scared about, hey, Charlie, time no day. Where do you start from?
Napoleon Hill said that anybody can wish for riches, and most people do. But only a few know that a definite plan plus a burning desire for wealth are the only dependable means of accumulating wealth. I am saying that if it must be done, it must be done now. And it must be done well. 3 things will hinder you from taking off. One is procrastination, where people think that they have time. I am only 40 years, I'm only 35 years. Let me wait a little bit. Let me wait till the job gets better. Let me wait till I get a salary increment. You cannot procrastinate if you want to have a good retirement. You see, you need to plan for your retirement and enjoy it. When you retire, you should be able to play golf when you want to play golf. You should be able to travel when you want to travel. So you cannot procrastinate. Number 2 is excuses. You can always find an excuse why you cannot do it. And number 1 excuse is the salary is not enough. And I know it's not enough. It's not enough for me. And it's not enough for anybody. But it cannot be an excuse. And number 3 is blame, where we think that somebody we think that somebody has not helped us. In fact, we shift the responsibility of retirement onto another person. We need to deal with these 3 self-imposed limitations: procrastination, excuses, and then blame. John Ruskin makes an important statement, and I quote. He said, a person has but one youth, and considering the consequences of employing that well, he has a reason to think himself rich. For that gone, all the wealth in the world cannot purchase another. The younger you are, the easier it is. Anybody who is not 45 years yet can have a great retirement because you have 15 years to retire. In your lifetime, one important thing must happen. You must get to a stage in life where the return on your investment overtakes your salary. In your lifetime before you retire. It must happen before age 60, where the return you are making on investment becomes higher than your salary. You know what it means? It means that at that point you can put your salary on autopilot. At that point where return on your investment becomes higher than your salary, it means that if you stop work that day, the return on investment is going to be higher than how much you are earning in terms of salary.
Like the chap who can afford to pay himself 30,000 a month out of his 60,000 a month that he's getting.
Exactly. So it must by all means happen in your lifetime when it comes to retirement planning. One man who introduced me to all this concept, Mr. Baba Mahama, makes an important statement, and I quote him. He said, "You are already at the crossroads. You have a life-changing decision to make. Will you create the retirement that you want, or you will take the one that shows up?" Because if you don't create the retirement that you want, something will show up anyway that you may not like it.
So you said, important thing, start early.
You need to start early.
But those who haven't started early, what is the next best thing?
You need to start today. Yes, because the younger you are, the better. Last night I did some analysis of somebody who is 31 years and starts investing 500 cedis every month. That is a total of 6,000 cedis a year. Invest for 15 years. And I use 24% to do my computation. Where am I getting this 24% from? I'm looking at the historical average treasury rate over the last 20 or 25 years. Using that 24% compounded quarterly, 6,000 a year, 500 cedis a month, 1,500 cedis a quarter, till age 45, total amount invested is 90,000 cedis. And this guy does not add any money till age 60. You know what? He's going to retire. The 90,000 cedis would have grown to 26 million Ghana cedis on retirement. That
just from 500 a month.
500 a month.
For over 15 years.
For 15 years. Total of 90,000 cedis accumulating to 26 million. If you waited till age 46, and you did the same contribution for the same number of years, 15 years, the same amount of 90,000 cedis at the same interest rate compounded quarterly, you are going to be retiring with 799,000. Look at the gap between 26 million and 799,000 cedis. What is the difference? One started at age 31. One started at 46. They all contributed for the same number of years, and they all contributed the same amount. But for me, there are another side of this discussion. Pre-retirement and then post-retirement. So what happens between now, your working years, and age 60 is important. You need to plan for age 60. But a lot of people have the notion that when you hit 60, life has come to an end, which cannot be true. So you need to plan between now and age 60, and you need to plan what you do with your life after age 60.
Like the chap who hasn't worked for 40 years.
Exactly.
And at 90, he's still enjoying
exactly
investment.
Exactly. Yeah. And for me, you know, the first day when we had the discussion, one of the important things I mentioned in terms of financial planning is giving back to society. And giving back to society does not only mean giving cash to society. It also means giving your expertise back to society. It also means giving your time back to society. So from age 60, if you are financially independent, if you plan for retirement, you can devote the rest of your life to teaching.
Lectures, talks,
and you are not on salary. Deprived schools that need support, you can help them. I was at a traditional marriage ceremony last Saturday, and I saw something, Kofi, that surprised me. The grandfather who sat in, the lady's grandfather, was 94 years. 94 years, and he drove to the ceremony. So if he retired at age 60, what it means is that from age 60 to 94, the next 34 years, if you are not doing anything that is engaging, you're going to be dormant. And for me, at age 60, you would have built so much experience that we can even have better use of that person than before age 60.
Indeed.
So life does not end at age 60.
It may actually begin.
It may actually begin for you at age 60.
Okay.
But you need to plan what you want to do with your life from age 60.
Okay. Paul Kofi Mante giving us insights into the whole business of retirement planning. There's a message here coming in on 0246 020580. Good morning, Kofi. I'm 52 years old. That means I'll retire in 8 years. What can I start now towards my retirement? This is Lydia.
Yeah.
Sunyani.
So Lydia is 52 years.
Yes.
8 years to retirement.
Times 12.
So we have 96 more salaries to take.
Less than 100.
Less than 100 salaries. And it ends there. So two important things must happen now. We still have 8 years. And 8 years is a lot of time that we can plan for age 60. But we also need to be planning what we will do after age 60.
Exactly.
So you can make money after age 60. Age 60, according to our laws, then you cannot be formally employed. But it doesn't mean that life comes to an end.
Sure.
So I will encourage her to also start thinking about what she will want to do with her life from age 60.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll open up the phone lines. A quick couple of calls. Get through to Paul right now and just send out your messages to him. The number is on your screen. We'll take a couple of calls before we wrap up this conversation. So at 52, she can still start something.
Yes.
She can start something.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
My client who is making 60,000 a month now. We started when he was 51.
Great. There's hope.
Yes.
Okay.
So but it will come with some discipline. It may come with some sacrifices, and you must be ready for those sacrifices. So you may have to defer some consumption today for the future. Less enjoyment. The younger you are, the easier it becomes. But when you are 52 already, we don't have too much time. But it's possible. I mean, even if you are 55, we can do something towards retirement.
Any examples of people who are earning maybe what we would say are small salaries, but are doing well?
Okay. I'll give you an example of one of my clients who retired as a lecturer. And you know, until recently, lecturers were not on great salaries, you know. But he planned for retirement over 20 years. And you know what? He's on retirement now, but he has over 6 million cedis.
Fantastic. Great stuff. Let's take a call right now. Good morning. You are through to Paul. Hello. Turn the volume off on your TV and let's talk through the phone. Yeah, I hear echo. All right, I think we've lost that caller, really. Okay, just turn the volume off on your television so that we can speak through the phone. There's no feedback, no interference, and we get straight to the point. So the lecturer is enjoying a good post-retirement.
Yeah, we had a seminar one time where I had one lecturer sitting in, and he shared a story that his first day on campus, he saw students and a number of people around a particular bungalow. So he walked there. I mean, he was new on campus, wasn't sure what was happening. And he was told that they were throwing out the belongings of a lecturer who lived in that bungalow.
Pause on that story. Let's take this call and we'll continue. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Very well. What's on your mind this morning?
I have listened to the program and I think it's a very good one. Can you please display the table again if you can?
Okay.
If it's possible.
All right, the table, yes. And we'll post it out on our social media as well. Put it out on GH1's Facebook.
Oh, I'm an old lady. I can't.
Oh, lady. So send us your number. I'll send it to you as well. Oh,
okay.
Yes. No, not on the phone, but just send us a quick message and we'll send it for you.
We'll she's on retirement.
The table is up. You can take a photo of it now, madam.
Yes, I wanted to say yes, but
yes.
It's not showing. It's not on the.
It's on the screen now.
It's not a full. No, it's not. It's not.
All right, that's our table.
But are you on retirement?
Almost. I'm pushing. Good, great. Now it's there.
Okay, good. Please take a photo of it before it goes. Yeah, so this table is exciting people.
Yes.
Because it actually breaks down the numbers,
yes.
the time that you have.
Exactly,
yeah.
Exactly. I mean, some may have sleepless nights.
Just looking at this table.
Yeah. But it's good to have sleepless night today than to have sleepless night at age 60.
When you may not have a roof over your head.
Exactly, yeah.
So, Paul, what are your concluding comments really on the issue of retirement planning? If there's only one thing we must take away from this conversation, what is that one thing?
That one thing, it's one of my favorite quotations. The best time to have planted an oak tree is 20 years ago, and the next best time is now. If you want to see the benefit of a tree, you should have done that 20 years ago. If you made a mistake 20 years ago, you should be doing that today. And I'm saying the best time anybody must plan for retirement is the day you start work, when you earn your first salary. If you didn't do it at that time, the next best time is today. And I encourage our viewers to also get copies of our books to read them, because financial literacy is important in the discussions we're having.
Fantastic. Let's take a seat and squeeze in this last call. Good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
We have lost you on the calls, but
Hello?
no problem. Hello, are you on the line? Good morning.
I'm on the line. Good morning. Good morning, Kofi.
Can't hear you.
Hello, good morning.
Yes,
Yes.
you're live. Go ahead. We don't have much time.
Yeah, please, I would like to know. Some of us are just contract workers. We do get our salaries not monthly. Sometimes we get contracts twice or three times in a year.
Yeah.
So I would like to know what are some of the policies for some of us. I'm a makeup artist. And I would like to know, because I hardly get job
Monthly.
all throughout the month.
Okay.
I get it basically maybe twice in a month, three times in a year. So I'd like to know, someone like me who is a makeup artist and doesn't really get a monthly pay, how do I also contribute towards my retirement?
Okay.
My name is Atareme.
All
Okay,
right.
two things. One of the topics we'll be discussing in the subsequent weeks will be multiple streams of income. How to create a number of gates that will bring money to you. So just stay tuned. But the other thing I would say is, you are free to come to our offices to talk to us. So we can customize the situation. We want to look at your case, and we can personalize something for you. I'm the head of financial planning for EcoBank. I sit in the EcoBank head office. We don't charge money for coming for consultation and for planning. You are free to come in. We can listen to your story and then plan something just for you.
Fantastic. Paul Kofi Mante is the author of a couple of books that will make things interesting for you.
Okay.
Financial Independence is Possible, Operation 1 Million Ghana Cedis, and Foundation for Financial Independence. Paul, thank you so much. I'm looking
Thanks
forward
to
to
you.
next week's
Yes,
Yes,
Kofi,
indeed.
yes.
All right, then.
Yeah, we'll be building on financial planning next week. We'll be looking at another area of financial planning.
All right, and in case you missed this conversation, it's out there on Facebook. We did a live stream of it, so go check out Facebook, look for GH1 TV, and follow and share it. And let's get everybody as financially literate as possible for a better, brighter future for yourself as well. Stay tuned. We've got MOG on Gospel Monday NX one-on-one coming up in a bit. Don't go anywhere.